And joining me now is Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu of California. He served as a House impeachment manager during Donald Trump's second trial. Congressman, thank you very much for being with us today. After watching that hearing, what do you want to see happen?
We have Lieutenant General Honoré, who's also doing an investigation for the House of Representatives. I thought that this hearing illuminated the chaos that was happening that day. I previously served on active duty, and we do all sorts of exercises, and I can tell you during these exercises, it was always chaos. So this was an actual event happening, and I can see why you might have timelines that didn't match up. But at the end of the day, there was one person who could have sent it to national security. That was a former president, and he refused to do so. As his conversation with Kevin McCarthy showed, he simply was not interested in doing that.
How are you going to get answers to that question of what the president was doing, how long it took him to do it? How do you find out that information? Are you going to get it from Pentagon officials next week?
So hopefully people who are of good conscience will step forward and tell us what they know. At the end of the day, we can also issue congressional subpoenas. What we realized the last 4 years is they are essentially meaningless because we cannot enforce them. That's why I have a bill that would impose monetary fines using Congress's inherent contempt power for people who ignore congressional subpoenas. But if we want to get the actual facts of what happened, we need people who were there next to the president come and testify and tell the public what they know.
D.C. statehood came up a number of times with the argument that if D.C. were a state, then Mayor Muriel Bowser, who might have more power in that position, or somebody above her, would be able to call on the National Guard more immediately. What do you make of that argument? Are you in support of it?
I fully support D.C. statehood. That is one great argument for D.C. statehood. The other is simply equal protection for all. You shouldn't be having people who have taxation without representation. So I absolutely support D.C. statehood. And I think we should take a step back and ask, why were all these folks attacking the Capitol to begin with? It was because of the big lie. They believed that the election was stolen, which is false. And if Republicans want to reduce the risk of further political violence, they just have to say one simple, truthful sentence: the election was not stolen.
Congressman Ted Lieu, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it.